Yo guys, what is good? Asi once again with another Exos series video. Summoning is one of the most exciting things in any gacha game, and you can get kinda mad doing it. Fortunately, there's method to this madness. Let's jump into a breakdown of how much value each of the different summon methods give and how to optimize your summoning behavior. Let's get into it. We all like to summon and get our favorite characters, but without spending the value of a brand new car, we won't be able to participate in all of the banners. Before I get into how to optimize your summoning behavior, let's get into all the different ways to acquire heroes in this game. If you already know all this, you can skip right to the next part. Recruiting. This is your main way of getting heroes. In here we have banners, premium recruits, free recruits, and string of creation. If you're just starting out, you will also see selective summons, which is a one-time unlimited reroll feature to get a good starting character. Yes, the wording seems confusing, but it's fairly simple. You can roll unlimited times until you finish up your selection. After this, the selective summon will be gone. Next up, let's talk about themes. In Exos heroes, we get what is called themes for all these banners. Usually they consist of 6 or 7 different heroes. All these themes have passives associated to them, which should be the main deciding factor if you go for a theme or not. All characters in a theme share this passive regardless of frame type. The only exception from this rule so far has been the Forgotten Memory theme. Frames. Recently, with the addition of blue frames, they're structured like this: 2 gold frames, 1 blue frame, and 4 black frames. Gold frames either have a change to their core abilities or gain a unique passive. In some cases, both of those occur at the same time. Let's take Rara as an example. For her, she gained the regular passive, the Great One, which is paired with Dragon Blood and Dragon Scales, and she gains the unique passive Guardian Star. Additionally, for her, both of her abilities have a change in multiplier and actually a change in how the skill overall works. For Zeon, there's no change to his S1 and no change to his S2. However, he also gained a unique passive. Blue frames enhance the strength of all units within the same nation. What is unique about blue frames is that these don't have to be equipped. They are an account-wide buff, so just acquire them. You don't have to use them at all, but will still benefit from them. Black frames are kind of wild. Usually they grant units with the same passive and in some cases increases the multiplier of some abilities. This is mostly the case for rares and legendaries. Some faded black frame heroes also get adjustment for their abilities, increased multipliers, or added unique passives. Here, at Valar, we have the regular passive Barrier of Will, and she gets Shackles. Additionally, her S1 was changed into a 0 mana ability and the damage values were lowered. In comparison, if we take a look at FC Baraka, he only got the regular Harbinger of Awakening passive, and that's it. No other abilities have been changed. Let's go over the banners. Here we have the Fate Core chance increase. These banners are usually associated with a team and they come in weekly. With the addition of Core Reverse, which is a fancy way of saying that they adjusted a Black Fate Core, we also get the chance to pull characters from a previous team. So far they have come once a month and can range between meta changing and what the fuck. The banners don't increase the chance to pull a Fate Core, this is still at 1%. However, if you pull a Fate Core, the chances to pull the banner hero are 0.5% and the other Fate Cores have their chances lowered. We have only started the second series, so we don't necessarily have a pattern for the occurrence yet. For the first Guardians, it was gold, black, 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 followed by gold, blue, black. Currently for the Summer Festa, we have black, black, and gold. All we know from data mines is that Valentina is not in the files yet, which could lead to the assumption she will be last in the rotation. All banners will have a core mileage associated to them, which is basically their pity counter. You can only roll in sets of 11 on a given banner. Banners and premium recruitment We'll share some aspects and let's go over them. Premium recruits. These are your standard gacha summons. You can get any hero in the game and they will have their chances evenly distributed between the different tiers. These tiers are subcategories of rarity. For example, Rudley and Chatty are both fated heroes, however they are in different tiers. Rudley is in tier 2 with a 0.078 chance, while Chatty is in tier 5 with a 0.222 chance. Premium summons as well as Fate Core chance increase share 2 mileage points. High grade mileage, where you can get 4 and 5 stars, and Fate mileage, where you can get 5 stars. Additionally, if you roll an 11 pull, you will be guaranteed a legendary hero as well as receiving a Fate Core Mew. Premium recruits allow you to roll with crystals as well as pull in singles. Once a day, the first crystal summon is reduced to 100 crystals, while it usually costs 350. Free recruit. This is your once per day free summon. The chances of getting something here are low. I haven't gotten anything higher than a rare, so I don't know if it's possible to get something higher. Unlike the other summon methods, we don't have any information about drop rates. Strings of creation. Strings are sets of previous themes. You can decide to open the string once and close it at any time. However, once closed, it's gone. The game asks you to confirm to close it, and you should only do it if you pulled the characters you wanted. They contain 3 Fate Cores out of a given set, with 2 of them being black frames and 1 gold frame. Strings will allow you to only roll for the specific heroes in that set. A set comprises 500 heroes for a total of 50 pulls. On the screen you can see a list of how many are usually in a given set. You won't get any mileage or Mews from here. Now let's talk about the door to creation. In the crafting session, we have a couple of ways to summon heroes. Dimension Recruit. This is where you use your clocks. You can get a random rare to fated hero. You can do this every day. Exodium Recruit. You can get this currency from explorations and golems or totems. Heroes you can obtain range from common to fated. Since you can get fated, I would do it. People might recommend to sell the Exodiums, but especially with the element enhancement, I would just summon these once in a while and sell the heroes. Limited time period summons. Sometimes we have additional currency you can get from exploration and golems and totems. This will allow you to recruit common to legendary heroes. Do it, it's free. Use the legendaries in hero re-recruit if you don't need them. Next we have all these nation summons. Here you can recruit heroes from assorted sets. They have grouped up heroes from specific nations, however you can also obtain common and fated heroes from other nations. It lets you focus more if you want to get a specific hero. However, I wouldn't do it. Solar Steels are hard to come by and you need them for unleashing 3 and 4 stars. Pure Recruit. Used to create a 6-star Pure, which will be used for combining. This is another one that I wouldn't do. You need hero tokens for element enhancement. Let's switch over to the Combine and Convert section. Hero Re-Recruit 1. Combine 2 legendary heroes to obtain legendary to fated heroes. Mileage will grant you a legendary from a specific list. Do it whenever you have a bunch of legendaries you don't need. Hero Re-Recruitment 2. Combine 2 fated heroes to obtain a different fated hero. Mileage will grant you a fated hero from a specific list. This you should only do with heroes that are in the lower tiers of rarity and that you don't want to use for element enhancement. 6-star hero re-recruit. This is where you would use the pures, the result of this combination, or the result of the next combination we're talking about. You can get random rares until fated heroes. Another thing that I wouldn't personally do. It's a waste of gold, and unless you have pures, which you shouldn't create, you won't have that many 6 stars you won't need. The only exception would be if you used 6-star rare to fated hero recruit and got a duplicate. That's it. 6-star rare to fated hero recruit. Use 2 max level 5-star heroes with max enhancement to recruit a random 6-star rare to fated hero. You should do this with 3 stars or below only, since it's cheap to get them to 5-star max enhancement. This, I would say, is a more late mid-game or late-game worry. Now let's talk about tickets. There are several ways you could obtain tickets, be it here either from a purchase, it could be from one of the rewards, from the Door of Creation, the mileage tickets, or a hot deal. Besides one exception, you will not be able to select any specific hero, but you will summon from a list of the corresponding heroes. This one here is the only one where you can actually select your hero. All the other ones where there is a list, you can pull from the entire pool of these heroes and will get one randomly. For these tickets we have the high grade mileage where you can get rare to faded heroes, which is called superior mileage in the help, the faded mileage where you can get a faded hero, core mileage where you can get fade cores from the banner, and special fade core hero selection ticket. That's the only one where you can select the hero. Alright, so now with all that out of the way, this is probably the section you're most interested in. In order to use your ZES effectively, you should always consider if you need a specific hero. With the amount of ZES the average player is able to obtain in a month, you can roll for a pity on a gold banner once per month. Everything above that will be difficult without spending a good amount of money. As mentioned in the banner section, we get the banners based on themes. Since all heroes share the same passive, especially black frames are often worth a skip. Sometimes, the heroes will get a special passive or rework on their abilities, which we don't know before a specific hero actually gets released. However, we will always be able to compare two black frames with each other, and that is on Wednesdays. The old banner will fade out, and we will have received news about the new one. I would strongly advise you to always summon for a banner on the last day and be prepared to pay the full mileage. While you might get lucky and pull the banner hero in the first 3 pulls, you might need to go all the way. If you aren't prepared to go all the way, you probably have wasted a lot of resources that could be used instead for a new banner or string of creation. And please don't be like, but I pulled FC Bathory so it was worth it. Summons are random and you pulling on that banner had nothing to do with you being smart. It's pure luck, and if that's your general strategy, you will lose a lot of resources. Summoning without ZES for the full mileage are a waste of ZES and should only be considered if you roll on a gold frame, if ever. Speaking about gold frames, from past experiences we will get 2 of them in any given theme. They are usually vastly different and have different uses. For example, here Iris, she gets a new passive and her S1 got changed. So far they have been spaced in 4-week cycles, meaning you could go for both if you manage your resources well. Previous banners get added to the strings of creation later on, which will give you a better value on those heroes overall. However, this can be 6 to 8 weeks waiting time. The heroes in a given string are the first 2 released black frames and the first released gold frame. This will be followed by the next black frames and the next gold frame. Regardless of the order, they come in those sets. Blue frames won't get added, so if you really want one of those, you might consider rolling on the banner regardless of what I said. Okay, now it's big brain time, aka math time. We want to compare a regular summon and strings of creation in order to make things efficient for you. Let's get the baseline out of the way. For 28 pity for gold and blue frames, you need 19,600 ZES. For 19 pity for black frames, you need 13,300 ZES. If you compare this to a string, this would come down to 46,200 for a full set. And a regular string will be at 35,000 ZES since there are 500 heroes in a string. What you will miss on a string is 50 Muse as well as 5 faded heroes and 50 rare to faded heroes. Now, since you won't get the additional bonus of 1 hero, you will also lose out on 50 heroes which can range between magic and fade core heroes. This is very hard to quantify, but if you go from the summon rates, I have done a rough calculation what you will miss out. I will put that on the screen so you can see that. If this is worth 11,000 ZES, is something that you would have to decide for yourself. In case you wonder how these numbers are calculated, check the spreadsheet in the description. With all that being said, let's try to formulate a strategy. you should always go for gold, and only gold. And I mean it literally. Unless they have a game-breaking passive like the first Guardians, you won't need more than 1 to 2 black frames of a given set. If you need one really depends on the hero and what extras detect on the FC. The gold FCs are usually the best in the series. If you don't like their passive, then probably you should consider a skip in total. Make sure you have done your due diligence and researched if a passive does what you think it does. You might miss out on a really cool passive because the text just sounds weird. Since you can easily get enough zest for one banner, I would advise going for one of the gold banners and getting the other from the string. This will also give you access to 2 of the other FCs in the series. If you have a good influx of zest and spend around $100 on the game every month, you will be able to get a black frame additionally. Regarding strings of creation, they lose value the more of the heroes you have. Let's say you don't have any of the FCs. This means you get a bunch of fodder for gold, re-recruitment tickets, as well as 3 new FCs for a maximum of 35,000 zest. If you already have one of the black frames, it really depends on how good the gold and the black frame FCs are. For example, here, I already have 2 of them and FC Rudley would not be worth 35,000 zest for me, so I will never pull on this banner. You should also consider, is a fusion worth it? If you can answer this with no, then this string loses another potential value. So besides Rachel, Bathory, Jin and Xeon, and also the upcoming Rara string, I don't see big value in pulling on the string if you already have more than 1 black frame. So these are just my general thoughts. You should always think in relatives. Strings are not good, strings are not bad, they are relative. If you always pull the banner hero halfway through the pity, then you need to apply your math to the string as well, basically halving the cost. Saying strings are bad because you might have to go all the way is completely missing the point that you might also need to go the full way on the banner. In general, I just want to reiterate this again. Make sure to get the gold hero if the passive is worth it for your account. Iris is a definite game changer. However, if you don't actively participate in PvP and your goal is to reach high standards, you could also just wait until she is in the string of creation, which would save you a little bit of zest in the long run unless you get lucky and pull her halfway through. For me personally, I always make the consideration how much zest can I get during a given time. Until Wednesday, I think I can get around another 5,000 zest, which would allow me 7 more pulls. If that's not enough, I'm willing to spend the money in order to get the remaining pulls that I need for this banner. If you are not prepared, don't do it. Because if I'm just halfway through here and I don't get what I need, then 7,000 zest, 8,000 zest is just wasted, which I could have used for the Valentina banner or for the string of creation. Always try to think about that and maximize your gain. And that's already it. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if so, consider subscribing to the channel and leave a comment, leave a like, all the good stuff. Let me know in the comments if there's a topic you want to see discussed. I'm currently working on a full guide on how to use each of the different currencies and how to not waste them. Unfortunately, bringing all that together takes a lot amount of time because I want to be very thorough and give the best that I can. So you probably have to wait for it another week. If you're excited for that, you already know what to do. As always, it was a pleasure to have you here, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, enjoy the grind.